Welcome back to Fanfiction Ideas, where I talk about pretty much ideas for fanfiction I had. And this is the Syndicate. Now, the Syndicate is this pretty much a mirror universe story, which involves not just one reverse AU, but like a shared reverse AU. Similar to the Crime Syndicate of America from the DC universe, you know, with Ultraman, Owlman, Superwoman, all that. So this is pretty much a reverse AU, and I did take some reverse AU reverse AU stuff, like as you can see, the reverse pines in here, and I made it my own. The kind of thing is, like, the thing with an AU is that you can change it however you want. Also, I've got another AU series in here, another AU fan series in here that I changed a bit. But anyway, let's get started with talking about this. So this is the Syndicate, which in this universe, it's all these reverse versions of heroes made villains, and they rule the world essentially. They rule their world with an iron fist, and their world's kind of shitty, much like in the Crime Syndicate's world. But the Syndicate in here is ruled by a version of Lord Drakon. This version of Lord Drakon he did kill the Power Rangers, but they weren't exactly good to begin with. So, yeah, he just wanted the power for himself in this continuity. And Drakon knew that he couldn't, while he could rule the world, he knew that he kind of needed people to help rule it. He needed people to be like his enforcers. So he gathered together all these other supervillains together to form a group that would help him, this version of Drakon, rule the planet. So among those characters, starting off, are the twins, Dipper and Mabel, who, again, are very much like their reverse AU versions, the Gleeful twins. But in here, they're both very powerful telepaths and telekinetics. They both have this kind of cold, calculating, and very sadistic persona to them. Mabel likes to mindfuck with people, like, in that she loves to just mess with people's heads or implant false memories in their heads, just to give them, like, false hope, and also likes to dig into people's heads and see what their greatest fears are. Dipper uses Mason, as he goes by, not Dipper, but Mason Mason tends to use his mental abilities to do the same, but Mabel loves inflicting pain. He's more of the strategist of the two. He's very pragmatic about how he uses his abilities, and they're both pretty powerful. And their powers actually, when they're together, when they're working side by side, their mental abilities are off the charts. They're powerful when separated, but when they're together, yeah, it's nigh impossible to stop them because they're so mentally connected with one another. Mason also has this tendency to force his mental will on other people, including some of his teammates, which he actually loves to implant memory. He's also a bit of a womanizer too, in that he loves to go around and with the other female members of the Syndicate, he loves to just quickly mentally harass them by giving them a mental image, by shooting them a mental image of him banging them in a kind of mental scenario. So, yeah, there's nothing they can do. They can't block it, a lot of them don't have the mental strength to push him out. They just have to be like, yeah, we're being mentally harassed by this guy, and Drakon's just like, well, not my problem. Drakon, of course, is the only one who's not affected by any of these for the men, Mason loves to mentally attack them just to be like, yeah, don't forget how powerful I am. But Drakon, of course, is so mentally well trained that he can't, Mason or Mabel even together can't reach into his head. So Drakon really shuts that shit down. Following along is XJ9, who in this is called XJX. XJX is the reverse version of Jenny from My Life as a Teenage Robot, and she's more of a weaponized form. She was built to be like a weapon of war, and she gained her own consciousness and decided, you know what, I love killing flesh bags. And that's what she is. She's pretty much like HK-47. She's like HK-47 from Knights of the Old Republic. And she does have that kind of speech of HK and even IG-88 where it's like statement or query or something like that. She always has something to go in front of that, that kind of speech. So yeah, she's very much like HK-47 from Knights of the Old Republic. But yeah, she's also loves, you know, if it's one thing she loves, it's killing meat sacks for, you know, less organics in the world. Next up is Jake Long. Jake in this version is more dragon-like. He doesn't really go into a human form, he stays in his dragon form, and he's a little more animalistic. He's almost like Killer Croc. And also, like Croc, he loves eating people. They pretty much love feeding people to Jake. You know, he's also a lot bigger, he's got horns, he's also got, his spines are a lot more sharper, he's a bit bigger, he's a lot more muscular, and he loves also, like most dragons, hoarding gold. He loves, like, hoarding everything, like, oh, that's mine, that's also mine. So he, you know, but he also, above all else, loves eating people. Moving right along to Randy. Randy in this universe is actually a member of the Foot Clan, along with the reverse version of Sashi from, of course, Pen Zero Part-Time Hero. And, yeah, Randy in this continuity, in this universe, is the son of the leader of the Foot Clan, Hamato Yoshi. And he is the adopted son. He also murdered the other 4 versions of the Turtles, in the reverse versions of the Turtles, to gain that power. It's also that Randy is also much like in the 2012 cartoon, Karai was the daughter of Splinter, but raised by Shredder. In this, Splinter, who did not become a rat, he kidnapped Orokusaki's son before killing him. You know, he killed Orokusaki to gain control of the Foot Clan and proceeded to raise his son, who is half Japanese. But anyway, so Sashi in this continuity is also raised by the Foot Clan, and she is betrothed to Randy. Because Randy, yeah, he is next in line. He's being groomed to be the future leader of the Foot Clan, and to gain that, position, he had to murder his 4 adopted brothers to do so. And rather than be enraged, he's more like, yeah, you clear Splinter. Sorry, I'm getting tripped over my words. Hamato Yoshi's like, yeah, you know, those other sons were weak. If you could kill all 4 of them, then you deserve to be, you know, the true heir of the Foot Clan. And Sashi is going to be your future wife. There's a bit of a problem. While Randy is very much like, yeah, I have a future wife, I am going to rule the Foot Clan, and no one's going to stop us. Sashi is kind of seeing the reverse version of Pen, who in this universe, he's kind of like, he's pretty much like Deathstroke, where he's a mercenary for hire who never really toured the multiverse, and yeah, his parents were full-time mercenaries, and, like, you know, he followed in the family business of killing people. He also really liked having an affair with Sashi behind Randy's back, and they continued to do that. In fact, I had this idea where Sashi reveals to Randy that she's pregnant, and Randy thinks, "Oh, you have the future of I already have an heir to my kingdom, you know, to my legacy." What she doesn't know is that Pen's like, "Oh, there's a bun in the oven, but it ain't your special recipe that made it. That's mine." Yeah. So yeah, Pen's a bastard in this universe. Following that is El Tigre, who is full-on villain. He's also the head of a cartel and runs Miracle City and most of the Mexican cartels for Drakon. Meanwhile, in France, you've got Marinette, Adrian, and Alia, who in this continuity are Misfortune, Chat Blanc, and Volpina. And they run the most of the European criminal organization for Drakon, because again, it's such a huge criminal. There's so many different criminal organizations. He needed people to run through, you know, to control those things through. So Misfortune, Marinette in here, she's the leader of that group, and she rules with an iron fist. She loves killing. Shat is her boyfriend. You know, Shat is her lover. They're pretty much like Bonnie and Clyde. They're very much like Bonnie and Clyde. And Volpina loves nothing more than spreading lies to start shit among the Syndicate, just to be like, yeah, I just want to see these guys kill each other because I'm bored. She's more of a Alia in this continuity is more of a sociopath. Following that, you've also got Kim Possible, who in here is a assassin who was trained, who has been trained to be the ultimate assassin. She's dedicated to her work. She's upset, she doesn't let go of a target until it's dead, and carries out Drakon's orders to the letter. It's not like with Penn, who's like, as long as you pay me, I'm fine. So there's that. She also killed Ron to prove, as an ultimate test of loyalty. Anyway. Following that, we've got the reverse version of, who else was among this group? Oh yeah, the reverse version of the Lyoko warriors, who in here are like Marinette's enforcers. They got their powers from Xana, who in this was like a Jarvis-esque AI, who was created by Franz Hopper to be like a help, to help the world. But it kind of got, they kind of captured it. Jeremy, who in this is a just horrible human being, killed he was actually Franz in this continuity. He was Franz's assistant and saw that, hey, Drakon's, looking for new guys to work with. I bet I can help out. So he killed Franz Hopper with Aelita helping him, and they took Xana. They took the Xana AI and had it, reconfigure Odd, Ulrich, Aelita, and Yumi to be like enforcers, and they now serve as enforcers for, Marinette's side of controlling the European organized crime. So you've got that. You also have the Powerpuff Girls, who are pretty much are a little older. They're actually teenagers, and they actually have more of a punk rock to them. Blossom is pretty arrogant, and just her whole thing is, let's just punch it till it dies. Bubbles is cruel and calculating, and also she's also very intelligent. She's very much like, imagine Azula with Superman's powers. There you go. And Buttercup is this very meek, very weak. She's very weak-willed, and her sisters pick on her, but she loves to take out her rage out on people. So there you got that. You've also got Steven Diamond, who, again, another AU. This is he's the son, of course, Yellow Diamond. He's more militaristic. He's more driven and focused. He's not somewhat one for jokes. And, yeah, he can actually use his diamond gem to, of course, cast electricity, as well as he can actually create new weapons like a Green Lantern ring from the gem. So you've got that ability, too. So all these guys are pretty much in control of the world, and it's actually like, yeah, I've always loved the idea of reverse AUs. I don't know why I dig inverted characters. I know it's such a done-to-death thing, but I don't know, I keep coming back to, maybe it's because maybe it's because of the Star Trek episode with the Terran Empire. Maybe that's where it all started, with my love for reverse characters. But yeah, you've also got, reverse villains who are heroes in this continuity. You've got the leader of this group, which are, in here, the heroes of this reverse universe are few and far between. Like, most of them get hunted down and killed by the Syndicate. And you've got this underground movement led by this Earth 2 version of Toffee, who has been rallying all these remaining heroes together to try to fight them, but they're kind of on the losing end, so they're always on the run. And you've got his lover, Lord Dominator, who in this version is known as, by her real name, Kendra. So the two of them are trying to organize what's left to save their world, which is not going to happen. Anyway, so there you go. Also, this might come to, this Syndicate idea may come to fruition because I've been talking with my friend Jason Voorhees 2011 to do a kind of adaptation of Crisis on Two Earths. So you might see something. You might be seeing something. I can neither confirm nor deny, but you may be seeing the Syndicate soon enough. So there you go, guys. That's pretty much my idea. And you guys tell me in the comments below, what are your ideas for reverse versions of superheroes, of animated characters? Oh yeah, also forgot. Oh man, how did I forget Danny Phantom? Danny, yeah. Shit, how did I forget about Danny Phantom? My bad. So I can't believe I was talking all about this, and I totally forgot about one of the characters, Danny Phantom, yeah. So Danny in this continuity is more skeletal. He's more dead. He looks more dead. He looks like a living corpse. His body's all sunken in. He's actually like I based him off of Deathstorm from Forever Evil, but a more ghostly form. Like he's got he looks more sunken in. He looks almost skeletal and bone-like, and his touch is death, more or less. So there you go with those characters, and you've got a few others like the reverse versions of Arrow and the Stormhawks, who in this are the Cyclonians. You've got Piper as Master Cyclonus, you've got Arrow, who's the Dark Ace, and you've got Finn, Junko, and Stork. Finn and Junko, of course, filling in for this version's Ravis and Snipe, but you've also got Stork, who is pretty much like Dark Beast from Age of Apocalypse, where he's the sadistic scientist who loves tormenting people. So there you go, guys. That's pretty much, there's a few others, but I'm kind of forgetting them, and then this is kind of running on a bit as it is. So you guys tell me in the comments below, what did you guys think of these reverse versions of characters? And as always, I'm curious, what are your versions of these reverse characters? But anyway, just comment below, let me know, and once again, hope you all enjoyed this, and I will see you guys later.